Yeah, just can we go up now?
Yeah, we can. We can basically go hit the highs on Pulse within 14 days.
Yep.
What is the, I mean, between the buys, between, is it, yeah, because we talked about before, all the money that needs to come in, we're kind of just trading with ourselves right now, money coming in from other directions. Now we see benevolent entities bridging, buying, making a ton of yield plays and otherwise. What is that? Yeah, what is your all's take too, just on, for example, the theory that, why is the entity making doing the yield? Why are they depositing different yield protocols and stuff on Ethereum? Is that going to be perpetual buy pressure that they're going to use the yield kind of help make Ethereum support PulseChain type of thing? Those protocols. What are y'all's takes on the interesting conspiracies and things that may actually come true happening right now?
I mean, that's coming from the understanding of DeFi. That's what I would do. I mean, why would you spend your principal when you can let yield do its job for you? You hold on to that principle, and then at any given time, you can always deploy the principal if you need to. So, but if you don't need to, and you have plenty of yield coming in, it can still do the same, achieve the same purpose. It's not at the same rate, and that's why I look at it. So, as Ethereum and goes up in value, and all the value of Bitcoin and all that is pulled up in this next bull run, maybe the interest rate gets even higher. Who knows? We don't know if the rates are static, if that's just something making out has on it, or it's adjustable. But there's other tools. Avi's got tools, stuff like that. That I think, if I'm mistaken, I think some of those deposit Avi as well. So yeah, it's just making money with the tools that exist on DeFi tools on Ethereum, and then bridging it back over in that value back to PulseChain. I mean, it's like a good little vampire attack if you want to think of it that way. It's just smart money and smart moves, because you never want to use your principal for the move. You want to use the yield. That's much more sustainable in the long term.
Yeah, I think you can't. So if you want to keep all of the economic energy flowing in the closed system and Pulse, you don't want to get yield from there. You want to get it from outside and bring it to home, but bring it back home. And so yeah, I mean, it makes sense to if you miss the bottom on ETH and in Bitcoin, and you still have stable coins, why not earn some yield on it? And when the volume's at its highest, maybe you get a little bump, and it's stable. Main word stable. So it's like support. It's long term. It's a safe, predictable way to get more ammunition for any outcome. Like, it doesn't matter what we think is going to be done with it. That stuff can change. I'm sure even the guy holding the coins or the keys will change his mind a couple times over the years. But just to have that income stream, like we've been preaching all day, is you shouldn't be selling crypto right now. You should be finding income streams. Like, it's the same for that bag as it is for us. Like, imagine if everybody brought money in, net buyers, and there was like the extractors run out of things to sell. You just have a bank run, like in the opposite direction.
Yeah. I'm just wondering, yeah, in the whole, we got to buy and burn for PulseX. Will we get a yield and buy, Y and B, upgrade? Coin the term just in case it happens. Yield and buy, upgrade for PulseChain. This morning, you guys woke up, talked to your significant other, your wife, girlfriend, otherwise, and you're like, hey, it's a really cool morning. Richard's buying the coins, or all that stuff. One thing they might ask you is, if they're, if they've been following and paying attention, if they're into crypto. Probably most people don't, but if they were into it, they'd be like, cool, is that sustainable? What is the right answer there? Like, is it sustainable to have this sort of yield generation play that may or may not be intertwined with PulseChain, but then have this allocation capital that is literally buying coins from time to time? Is that sustainable even with a large amount of money?
Yeah, this is just the bootstrap phase. Eventually, the market's going to take on a life of its own. This is just the beginning. Any good crypto project any good company needs seed funding to get it going off the ground. The guys that take the most risk come in at the floor prices and get the most amount of units. And same thing here. More supply will be removed forever. And in terms of the capital being deployed, is it sustainable? Yeah, it's being deployed at a sustainable rate currently, and if it was depleted entirely, I would assume that we'd have 10 million users. Like it would have been in an effort to get the 10 million users or 30 million users. Like it won't all be it will never be depleted most likely, but if it were, it'd be because we're at 10, 20, 30 million, 50 million, 100 million users. Like that's for glory, right?
Yeah, it's a means to an end, right? That's the whole point. And the means are either you're going to use yield from outside sources or you use the principal. Either way, the end result is obviously more people in the system, which brings value, obviously, and ultimately sustainability in a good, healthy ecosystem.
How many 10K clips should we expect next? What was there, like 38? I thought somebody, yeah, that's what Money Gang said. Deployed 38 $10,000 clips into PLS, PLSX, Hex, and Ink. Notably missing there, eHex. Some people's favorite, some people's not favorite. What does this mean? Tomorrow, are we going to be all right, 38 more? Or what do you guys think is going to happen?
Don't know.
It's much funner to speculate now that something cool happened, right?
Yeah.
Before you're just this crazy person. Oh, what are you talking about? Yeah, that would never happen. And then now it's like, is this going to be a thing?
Well, it depends on the rate in which people. I think it'll be a function of how often people sell against the buys, right? If people behave themselves, they don't sell. Maybe he does it again. He does it again, right? And then trying to shake the people out, noticing he's only doing a little bit at a time. He can do it all the way up to like 20 times, right? With this one deposit. So that's a play. And he'll just space it out and look at the psychology and how people are reacting. Once we hit, say, a 2x from SAC. Okay, now we're 2x from SAC. What are people doing? Are they dumping out? Okay, he may wait back. Wait a minute before he does it again. Who knows? Richard's going to reward the people who were loyal to him. That's his MO because he wants glory. So, and he will help. Yes, he's always said that he will, do the right thing for his loyal followers, and then that's what we can expect him to do.
There seem to be whales out there with billions of PLS and PLSX and millions of Hex who seem to be interested in selling it by their actions and otherwise. Is it just one of those, hey, I got more than you, keep it coming? Or is it going to be like, I just don't know what other move would make sense other than, well, we've waited long enough to shake out the weak hands, and now we're gonna have to soak up some sell pressure. It is what it is, but this is the best situation we could be in. That's what it feels like, at least from what I'm looking at.
Yeah,
we got all the time in the world, don't we? Mm-hmm. Well, I'd rather these guys sell it at 2x than a 20x, right? Let them sell at 2x. They're done, right?
The other thing too you got to consider is if the OA wallets are providing liquidity, the way these liquidity pools works is they're basically buying their own coins off themselves and re-putting their own coins back in their own wallet. If their positions are big enough in the farms, so or I shouldn't say in the farms, but in LP pools, because there's a potential there for an OA to put LP in the LP pools, but not go into the farm, so that he's not taking away from the user base and their rewards, and he's growing that pot while just keeping his LP in the just for on the side, not in the farms, and then doing this revolving infinite money glitch loop basically situation which is what's the magic of the pump proven technology of Uniswap V2 now called PulseX. It's amazing how that the LP setup works. If you are the sole holder of the LP, you are buying and selling. You are buying your own coins from yourself, and it just pushes the price up forever. So, yeah, you know what? We're just getting started. We got so much time left in this cycle, and it's going to be a wild, fun ride. Careful with the leverage. Careful with different protocols would put your coins at risk. If you just close your eyes, position yourself now, close your eyes, and wait 12 to 18 months, you're going to look back and be like, wow, that was amazing.
Yeah, that's just speaking of LP, maybe we'll finish up on that point too of, is there a way, that much money coming in, we have some over the bridge, we have some making moves, buying and otherwise, we have the yield being generated on Ethereum, not sure what it's going to be used for yet. maybe it'll be help the ecosystem in some way. Either, yeah. What are the ways? I guess if they were to even bridge over the 20, maybe bridge over more stable coins, something backed by something. I guess two different things. One, could they pair that with other things on the farms or otherwise integrate it? Just would just adding more liquidity, adding more DAI, adding more whatever stable coins to the ecosystem, would that help support future moves going forward, even if it's, things are being bought and otherwise with other bags? And then
let's get that one first. So the answer would be it would support the price where it is, but it would cost more economic energy input to get the price chart to move the same amount. Mm-hmm. So if you double the liquidity, there's more price support, but it's also cost twice as much to get the price chart to move. So ultimately you'd want to see this phenomena, which I talk about a lot, which is liquidity is removed, the pump happens, liquidity is replaced to absorb the sell-off. Rinse and repeat. So
is that, do you see anything set up in a way that would make that look like it's coming or possible? Or what needs to happen for you to be like, oh, I see that pattern. I see that liquidity, removal and buy pressure and otherwise coming? Or how close are we if you do see anything like that?
Well, if you want to know that kind of information, you need to look into the PulseX info tab and look into each pairs. And you're basically going to put yourself in a position where you got a new full-time job because it's a lot to track. But
it sounded easy when you first said it. That's why.
That's why I just like looking at the geometry, because it's like, all I need is some words on Twitter and some geometry, and that's enough for me to say, hey, this is where things can go if we get the momentum, and here's your target levels and stuff. So you can reduce it down to a much simpler thing once we're in a trending market. When we're not in a trending market is when things are tough.
And just confirm, we are in a trending market.
We are in a trending market, trending to the upside, hard.
And the other part of the LP would be if it was bridged over, but not used for liquidity, if it was just used for buying. Yeah, I guess it just goes back to the yield and buy scenario, which God, I hope happens, because that just sounds. I don't know.
If you took away all the user funds and the OA just put in the LP and bought the coins that were on, he'd just be buying his own coins and the price would keep going up. But by not setting LP in there, you're actually rewarding guys in the farms or in the LP pools by the price appreciation, or directly, or because they're DCAing. He's basically allowing them to DCA out for the guys that's providing stable coins. And then there's the other more exotic pairs where things are more in fluctuation, like crypto to crypto pairs. Different dynamic there, of course. Yeah, I mean it's a deep topic, probably like one of my most fun things to talk about. But if you want to know more about liquidity, I'm sure these guys know some. I love this stuff. It's go check out accessalive.com, man. We always talk about it every day. We're looking at it.
So just LP, so not necessarily adding LP, but just buying. So just buy pressure. I guess, let's just end on that then. Like, final question, what are the scenarios that you would like to see that would be good for price coming up that could actually happen based on what we've seen so far?
What do you think, Neil?
Well, I mean, I think you're right, Axis, earlier, that if he buys some of his own tokens from the LP, then pulls LP, or first pull LP, then buy tokens, price goes up, right? That's just how you would do it. And he keeps doing that till the price drops and add LP and repeat. That is the best solution for this to keep the price going up. It's really simple in those terms, because as more people come in, the more economic energy it takes to push the price, because that takes that much more to go past in the pairs, right? It's just the V2 liquidity, how it works. So it's just one of those things that would be the play. But eventually, though, if we have a lot of people coming in and they flood the market with dollars and they buy all the stuff up, he would have to add even more to really push the price. And we'd be pushing our own price at a certain point, but then how many people would it take to come in after that to push the price beyond where we are, whatever X level it is?
Yeah, Metcalfe's law. That's where you get into like the adoption and the rate of adoption and how much more money's crossing the bridge and stuff like that.
Exactly. So there's math there that's you can kind of speculate on, but Richard knows the math really, really well, and I trust that he's going to do the right thing mathematically because he knows how to play this game through psychology and everything else. Something we've already talked about. So, of all the people, he's probably the master at this game. We've seen him do it Hex. He'll do it again with PulseChain because he's in it for the glory.
And we saw what he did with Bitcoin. So he's already said, guys, that he made the $30 top on Bitcoin. So that's him saying, hey, I invented the hockey stick in Bitcoin. You're welcome, and I can do it again, and I can do it again, and I can do it again. And that's whose team I want to be on.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think everything that we've seen in January, December, you could say January, now, into February and stuff, it seems surgical. It seems like, hey, there's a playbook. I know how to press the right buttons. Maybe I'm waiting for certain events. Maybe there's a timing aspect in one way or another. But once you start pressing the buttons, it's kind of like, what are the chances there's just no more buys? There's no more bridging. It almost feels like there's momentum here. Like there's got to be
100%.
Well, it's a function of he has to react to the market too.
Yep.
He does something, there's a reaction, then he reacts based upon what happens, one way or the other, either by inactivity or activity. He's doing that. So therefore the momentum change goes on. So he knows the system so well, he will play that game, and the momentum will happen at the rate of which we react as the users and in the market itself.
100%. It's really it's so fun to watch. It's not, and here's the thing too, guys, is it's not sorry, I'm trying to type and speak at the same time. This isn't going down a road where this is going to be a one-man show forever. Like, this is definitely going to grow to the point where he's going to have less and less impact over time on what happens in the market. Eventually, this thing's going to get legs of its own. This is just the bootstrap phase. That part people can't quite see yet because they think it's so tied to one man or one address. And I just don't see it that way, because I think that after a second cycle, you basically solidify this ecosystem as the GOAT of DeFi front and center. You throw a dismissal of an SEC case or a big win, and you amplify that even more. And here we are, Hex is the Bitcoin of DeFi, and PulseChain is the Ethereum of DeFi. And in a worst case scenario, the OA funds get burned to a contract address, and no one has control of them ever again. In a worst case, in a best case, things go on like normal. We all live, happily into our later years of life, and this thing just takes off, and you get to 100 million users. It's all in motion.